What's up, guys? So a couple updates with the fleet. As you guys know, I've been dailying these '06 Mazda RX-8. The little backstory with this car is that we originally bought this car for my wife, but when we were trying to buy this property, which it looks a little bit different now, it's not a complete fucking whatchamacallit, construction zone any longer. I kind of sold my C5 Z06, which was my daily driver, and a couple other cars just to come up with some cash for the place because we needed money for the down and everything else and closing costs. But in the process, I sort of commandeered the RX-8 as like my daily, and it sort of just kind of stayed that way. But the other day, a buddy of mine, Phil, thank you again, he tagged me in a classified on Facebook, and it was for this, which is another '06 Mazda RX-8. I'll get out of the shot here. This is a GT model. It had a blown motor, but the body overall is very clean. It doesn't look like it's ever seen winter or anything like that. So I jumped on it, went and grabbed it, cheap, dirt cheap, 1,300 bucks. And I know I've been saying this, but I'm not exaggerating when I say how nice of a car the Mazda RX-8 is, and especially for the price point. But this is gonna be for my wife, and like I said, the motor's blown. So what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna pull the engine and do a tear down on it, kind of see what I can salvage from it, and I'm either just going to rebuild it, or I'm going to port it, do a aggressive street port on it, rebuild it, and then I think I may throw it in the black one, which is my daily, and pull the motor out of this, which now has I just hit 35,000 on it yesterday miles, so I'll take that out and put it into here for her. Couple updates with this car. As you guys can see, it's sitting a little bit lower, and it's got a nice new set of aggressive wheels on it. I did a suspension installation video for this, as well as the mounting of the wheels and tires, and an alignment video. But one of the things that I never liked about this car, I mean, I love the color, I love black on the RX-8, even though I hate black cars because they're miserable to maintain. But this being a Shinka has the parchment leather interior, and I've never really been a fan of this. I mean, it's very nice. The seats have an Alcantara insert, and they're red stitched and everything else, but it's a light color, and I'm just a black interior guy. On the contrary, the wife loves it. So this car, being a Grand Touring, which has heated leather power seats, I'm gonna pull this interior, which is all black, and I'm going to swap everything over. So this is kind of cool. So it also ticks a couple check boxes. So I'm going to salvage this interior, put it into the black car, swap the door panels out and everything else. And just to kind of give you guys another close-up here. I mean, this is a really nice interior for a Japanese car. Mazda really did treat these things as their flagship. It's just really unfortunate the out-of-the-box issues and all the sorting that they need, but once you get them done, they are fantastic. So that's that. So now we have another project car here in the garage. I'll be doing some videos on this going forward, and you can look forward to more content for that, as well as my Project Great Daily, and that's just about it. So I'll answer one question as a Q&A type of thing. I'll just take this time now while I'm doing like a vlog. But somebody asked me what's my racing background, and to kind of summarize it, I started autocrossing when I was 20 years old in my NB Miata, or actually maybe I was 21. I think I was 21 when I bought the NB. It was stock. I ran it in C stock for three or 4 years, 4 years, and from there I started racing karts. I raced in a class called TAG, which stood for Touch and Go. I don't know if it's still a class anymore, but basically they were single gear, Carts, they used a 30 horsepower Perella Leopard was the engine that I ran in it. Even though they were single gear and not a shifter, they were fast as hell. And if you threw gears at a cart like that, they'd be ridiculous. So it wasn't just something that anybody can just hop into. But I did kart racing for 2 years, and I was kind of old getting into it. I was 23, I want to say, 23, 24. And after every weekend, I just feel like a geriatric fuck, and I'd be miserable and in pain because it just really beats you up. You really don't realize the forces that are put on your body when you're doing it. So it didn't last too long. From there, I did my first track day in the NB Miata, and after hot lapping it for like a good 40-minute session, I was like, wow, this is like unbelievable. I could do this all day long versus the karting. So that really kind of like took on for me, and I did track days for a couple of years from there, and then moving forward, I went and got my SCCA competition license, and naturally, being a Miata guy, I ran spec Miata, and I did that for the last 6 years. I sold my spec Miata and my race trailer because I also let those go to come up with funds for the house. But so that's kind of it. And then from there, I've been doing that stuff at Lime Rock the last few years. They call it the Axis Series, which stands for like Open Autocross Invitational. That's pretty cool because it's on the go-kart track. It's not too expensive. It's like hectic as a regular track day. They do like 8-minute heats out there. They run it like a little mini track day, but it's all second gear stuff, and the track surface is like not as high grip. So like you can really like exploit the cars and like do like a lot of stupid drift stuff. And that really helped me hone my skills of like balancing a car, like an oversteer and everything else. So I've been doing that, and other than that though, I'm gonna say I'm pretty much retired from racing at this point. With spec Miata, it wasn't that big of a deal for me to like let go of the car, because if you wanted to win, and I won. I mean, I won races, so like I feel like I achieved. I never competed nationally just because of the cost to prep a runoffs car is just astronomical, and I don't think it's worth it. But it came down to the point, like, if you wanted to compete, you pretty much had to buy tires for the weekend. And tires plus cost of entry plus the track day before to, like, kind of, like, do practice and stuff. I mean, you were looking at, like, at least a $1,500 to $2,200 weekend, depending on how crazy you went. And it's just, like, to race a car that made 100 horsepower, it didn't really excite me anymore. And being in spec Miata, you know, you make up time and you pass people by doing like asshole cockamamie moves. So like people like get really out of control, and I've been hit a bunch of times. Almost every race I went out, I got hit, and I just kind of got tired of it because I'm not a guy who could afford to like keep fixing a car if it took like big hits and stuff like that. And it pretty much, if somebody like took the car out, it would have been game over for me. I would have been done. So it wasn't that hard for me to walk away from it. Plus, I was like, at that point, I was like, I'd rather drive a car where you kind of have to discipline your throttle foot a little bit and manage like oversteer in the car's rear, like moving around and stuff. Because that's like really that kind of excites me now. I don't care about maximum grip and all that other nonsense. I like having that adjustability, the balance, right? So that's pretty much where I'm at now. And now I just kind of enjoy driving. You know, I like building the cars and seeing them progress and seeing a vision come to life with like that beautiful black RX-8 there. I can't believe how much of a difference those wheels make. Looks so good. Like it really, putting those on and doing the suspension just got me so excited for that car all over again. But yeah, I mean, I like doing the build thing, and I like seeing the projects through. And that's just kind of where I'm at. I take them out, I go and I enjoy them on my own terms. I do the Axis thing at Lime Rock just to like kind of get a little competition out of my system, or a little track driving. I'll eventually start going back and doing big track stuff. I kind of been having a hankering to do that. The AP1 is really the car that I'm kind of setting up for that, and there's no reason why I can't do it right now, other than it's just kind of been a time constraint for me. And speaking of time, and speaking of this house, so I've been carrying the mortgage for my old house now. It didn't sell for what we were trying to get, and I ended up just taking it off the market last December. So from December, I've been renovating it over the course of the winter time and the beginning of the spring. Went through the whole house and fixed a bunch of stuff. Just really cleaned everything up, painted everything, and redid a couple rooms that were, you know, they just needed updating. So happy to say that I listed the house back up last Friday, or this past Friday, a couple days ago. So now that frees up a lot of time for me because I don't have to be there multiple times a week at night and pretty much all weekends. So that's a pretty cool thing. I can start diving more into the car projects, doing more stuff, and then once I get that financial burden off of my plate, I can start really spending some more money on the cars and everything else. So that's pretty much it for me. Oh my gosh, check this out. A little rabbit foo-foo. I didn't even see him. I'm just sitting here blabbing and jabbing away. Hey there, bud. How's it going? Look at that. He's a little guy hanging out in the wood pile. And those of you guys wondering where the wood pile is at, this is it. I got a lot of splitting to do. You can see I've been getting loads of it delivered from some tree clearing companies, but I just haven't had time to get splitting and everything. I burned a lot of wood this winter. Next project, which is going to be starting within the next week or so, is I'm putting a pad back here. This is just kind of horrible dealing with the gravel and the weeds and stuff growing through. Plus I want to be able to wash cars out here. Right now I go and I wash them in front of the house, let them dry, and then I'll drive them over here and put them into the garage. If I come in here with wet tires, I just drag so much shit and it's miserable. I'm constantly sweeping these floors and mopping them. I have a hose hookup right inside here, so with a pad back here I'll be able to wash cars right on the pad and then just drive them right back in the garage and not have to worry about dragging a bunch of stuff in. So that's just about it. Let me flip my screen. That's just about it for updates. And I was also thinking about I had a couple of requests to do like kind of like a live Q&A thing. I haven't done anything live. I don't even know how to use it. So if that's something that you guys want to do and you want to talk about cars or just any topics of interest, I mean, keep it car related, but if you want to do something like that or there's interest, let me know and I can coordinate that. But that's just about it, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing and the support. Love all you guys, and stay tuned to the next video. That's it. Done.